The podcast that you are about to hear was recorded in early April 2025, before the most recent series of Doctor Who had been broadcast. Therefore, any opinions that it contains about the era of the 15th Doctor are based entirely upon his first season and should be considered with that fact in mind. The Time Ram boys are talented in many areas, I can vouch for that, but they are, as yet, unable to see into the future.
Hey kids, alright? Get the recording going.
As I was walking up the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd fuck off. Welcome to Time Ram. I'm Paul Ferry, and joining me as usual are Rupert Booth.
Oh, spiders.
And Barry Williams.
Hello.
Yes, it's the Doctor Who podcast where we take a randomly selected Doctor and a randomly selected story and ram them together in a ramming
Randomly
fashion.
selected way.
Yes, in a randomly selected, in a way that uses the word randomly selected a lot.
It uses the word ramming, but quite a lot as well.
Ramming.
That's because we're children.
Yes.
A suspicious amount.
And that, listener, unbelievably, was the least filthy title we could come up with for this podcast. The others were worse.
We didn't come up with it. The others.
We had a few, but I can't remember what they were.
I can't remember. That was Brixton. That was years ago.
Yeah.
So and tonight we've got the episode Rogue, the most recent episode we've ever done so far.
Discontent and murmur.
Yeah, and we're somehow gonna force Patrick Troughton into that.
Well, he didn't say we're going to force Rogue into the Patrick Troughton yet.
We're going to force Patrick Troughton into Rogue. Okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, that is worse, isn't it? Because mine says era on the end, but makes it easy to. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So I have to say, I watched Rogue in preparation for this.
Good.
And I found it really hard to concentrate on it. I've never lost concentration so much in a kind of bloody 45-minute episode. I was just looking at my phone and I was getting, no, I must watch this. And then I'd be looking at my phone again. I found it really hard to concentrate on. It's just so dull.
Same here. It's very dull. It's very.
It's quite generic.
It's very generic.
Obviously, the average length of a Troughton is 6 episodes. I can't see you getting this into 6 episodes. I can't see us getting this to 4 episodes. I don't know how you do that.
No. Well, let's say that Innes Lloyd looked at the 4-episode cut and went, "Fuck me, this is boring. Let's cut it down to 3."
Yes.
Just as Verity had before him.
Yes.
And people now talk wistfully about and that's all we've got. We've got the scenes he cut from episode 4, from episodes 3 and 4. That's all that exists of Rogue. Just to be cussed.
Yeah. I think as we were saying last week, I mean, there's a major issue in this that they just wouldn't have gone near in the 60s, would they?
Oh, really, Paul? What's that?
That would be the gay romance.
Yeah.
You know,
back then between the Doctor and any kind of romance.
Well,
no, I mean, they wouldn't have done any romance, gay or straight, anything. It doesn't.
Since half the episode is about the Doctor and Rogue moving after each other, we've actually, this is down to 1 episode of Troughton.
There's very little left after that.
Yeah. This is the Troughton one-parter, and Innes Lloyd even cut bits out of that. So it actually lasted for 15 minutes, and it's wiped.
The problem that we have is, do we put in some other reason why the Doctor is fascinated by Rogue, you know.
So the way I look at it is that we have two ways around this. One, we don't do that subplot. Two, we make Rogue a woman.
Yeah.
All three Rogues got a thing for Jamie. Because I was thinking earlier, the dancing stuff, the Doctor ain't going to be doing that. It's going to be Jamie.
Yeah.
Or Victoria. Or you make it Victoria who's fascinated by Rogue, whereupon Jamie just goes and smacks someone. That's the end of Rogue. But I kind of think we should do it male, but purely because I've got two really fun casting ideas for who should play Rogue.
I had some ideas for Rogue as well, yeah. I mean, given that they wouldn't have done it at all, I don't think they would have done it with Jamie or Victoria. I don't think they would have done this plot.
No,
I don't see any reason why you can't imagine it either way, you know.
And also cosplaying, that's a really 60s phenomenon, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing about this is going to translate. It's actually quite a challenge.
They might have done it with Victoria. They might have had her kind of being delighted to be back on, you know, her sort of territory.
Well, yeah.
And swept off her feet by a young man. Less sexual, just romance.
Well, very chaste,
yeah. So they might have done it with Victoria, but yeah.
He might touch her arm a bit like Andred does, like once or something in the Invasion of Time to go, I'm falling for you. And she touches his arm. Yes, I also.
And Mary Whitehouse is watching going, disgusting.
Disgraceful.
I saw a program the other night. The man touched the woman's arm. Didn't get that in my day.
And that was left in the image of a child for a whole week. I think that was left in the image of a child for a whole week. I did, didn't I? I got that sentence.
Yes, it's in the image of a child.
Now it's become something like the title sequence of Shadows.
Yes.
All of which is more interesting than Rogue. We could just set an entire story in the title sequence of Shadows instead.
Did you know they're remaking Threads?
I did, as a series.
Yeah.
Fucking more.
Oh, a series.
As a series of Threads, yeah.
Fucking hell. Because that's what we need.
Threads, for anyone who doesn't know, which is probably a lot of people, was a drama made by the BBC in 1982, imagining what would happen in Britain. I believe it's 1982. I believe so. In the event of a nuclear war. Yeah. And was utterly horrific.
Terrifying, and still is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's brilliant. I fully acknowledge that it's brilliant. It's a brilliant piece of television.
Yeah.
But I watched it once and thought, well, I'm never watching that again.
I watch it infrequently. I think it's coming up in a showing session with a friend soon who hasn't seen lots of amazing television, so I'm showing him force feeding him all the good shit. And that's going to be a sit down, and that's get the vodka in beforehand. Let's have a section with this one because we're going to need it. But as a series, that's just and it's the trouble. One of the ways that Threads is so brilliant is that it's made in the manner that's so utterly down to earth. It is very documentary style. There is no finesse to it, intentionally, which is very finessed. And you totally therefore buy it. Nowadays, it'll have romances and it'll have attractive people with a little like a wart on going, oh, me radiation. We're experts in what people sound like when they're irradiated, We've done the research. This isn't just nonsense. This is time. We bring you fact.
Oh, I'm so irradiated.
Oh, areas.
I always thought the most brilliant thing about Threads was the fact that you get that when there's spoilers, by the way, when there's the nuclear blast overhead, you get, windows shattering and things are collapsing or whatever, and everybody's running around screaming, and you think, oh, this is terrible, but, it's not that bad. And then the blast actually hits. Yeah. It just wipes the fuck out of everything. And you think, oh that's kind of what it would really be like. Because that's the thing exploding in the air that makes the windows shatter and everything.
Yeah, that's totally doing that. We're totally doing that thing again of where we're not interested in an episode.
No, we're not. We're talking about.
Let's talk about something else. Yeah,
the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
Are we using Victoria and Jamie then?
I don't know.
I
but
don't
Rogue is.
know. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, let's see where we go.
Let's see where we end up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see who comes out of the TARDIS when it lands.
All right. Okay.
The cast of threads.
We start with the caption in the 21st century version, 1813, Bath, England. And I must admit, I saw that date on the screen. I immediately thought, oh, okay, so we're in the late Napoleonic Wars. I don't remember seeing anybody in uniform in this.
No.
Which you don't. And I'll come back to this later because there's something that really leapt out at me. But yeah, 1813. So it's a posh house, basically.
Yeah.
Filmed at Port Talbot. There's a really posh Margam Castle there. I think it's really, really
filmed in
posh.
Studio One at TV Centre, my lad.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I think
It's
you'll
not.
find.
Yeah.
You might have some bits of Ealing if you're lucky.
Yeah. So we're on a set. Yes, of course.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be like Adam Adamant. It'll be like the beginning of Adam Adamant.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that's like. But,
It's a Victorian sort of dance scene with lots of people in posh frocks dancing around.
Very nice.
Oh,
Okay.
can we have Gerald Harper in it?
Now he'd be a good one as well. He might be better than
That'd be
two
interesting.
I thought of.
I'd thought of one, but I can add Gerald Harper to the list. Yes,
Gerald
okay.
Harper, I can totally add to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we just put our rogues on the table now?
Let's flop them out. Yeah, why not?
Let's flop our rogues out. Okay, Baz, what's yours? Well, I'll say one of mine. Do you want the sensible or the silly one first?
Start with sensible, and then we
David
know where we're going.
Hemmings. David Hemmings.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
David Hemmings.
Yeah, I
Charismatic.
know.
Good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's have yours, Baz.
I thought Kenneth Williams. I just wanted
My
to see.
silly one doesn't
I
seem
wanted-
remotely silly now.
We're
wanted
not
to see
steering it
Patrick-
far from the gay theme there.
Well, I mean, Kenneth Williams in full Julian and Sandy mode,
Uh-huh.
doing the Polari. They'll get him. All that.
This is
And,
why Innes Lloyd cut it down to 15 minutes.
But Kenneth Williams and Patrick Troughton together, flirting with each other, kind
Yeah.
of works for me. I quite like it.
I'll
Yeah.
do my other one. I'll do my, I thought, silly one.
Okay.
But following that, it just isn't. Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. Fresh from the stint on the Saint.
The only casting idea I had was a female one. I was thinking Alexandra Bastido.
Very nice. Yeah.
well.
I mean, we could leave it vague. Let people choose whichever way they want to go with it.
Yeah.
Given that
I was
we know that in the
considering the plot
60s they
about-
wouldn't have done this anyway.
Considering the plot's about shapeshifters, maybe not with Rogue.
Yeah.
Maybe we should nail Rogue down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what the Doctor wanted to do.
OTR.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're going to have the exchange in this, aren't we? We're going to have the Trout and Hines exchange in this somewhere because that happens in every episode, isn't it? That's going to happen in this.
Look, I say that one, Doctor.
Why, yes, Jamie, it is a big one. I suppose we could have Sean Connery.
I think both Roger Moore and Sean Connery were way too big stars to have appeared in Doctor Who.
So was David
in
Hemmings.
this period.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So was Kenneth Williams.
Show, Doctor, are you a nonch?
What does that mean? Gerald Harper. I could go with Gerald Harper.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Cool.
It could actually, in that era, it could legit be a Doctor Who Adam Adamant crossover, couldn't it?
Oh, now it's interesting.
I mean, this is.
We're
I
doing
mean, this
that.
is.
We're doing.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
we're
this
doing
is-
the fuck out of that.
This isn't the Victorian era. It is slightly before the Victorian era. This is the Georgian.
Change the date. It doesn't matter.
Well, I
what
suppose you could-
they care about in that is that it's people in posh frocks.
People in posh frocks. Yeah, it doesn't actually matter when it's set because
Doesn't
Yeah.
really.
it's
you know,
not really set when it's set.
There's no
yeah.
historical event that's relevant
Yeah.
or nothing
Yeah.
that's pertinent.
Yeah.
So,
Because
yeah.
in this version, it's not going to be based on fucking Bridgerton, is it?
Bridgerton. They
No,
hammer that point
No,
home
it's-
twice, don't they?
it's
Yeah.
going to be based
Yeah.
on fucking Adam Adamant.
Yeah.
And I can give my vote for whether it's better or worse immediately.
Okay, yeah. So
Oh wow, that means in the Doctor Who universe, Adam Adamant is Doctor
Yes,
Who's
it
first
is.
spin-off.
Magnificent.
this is Doctor,
Magnificent.
this
Oh, and
is
it runs
Doctor Who
concurrently with
fucking
the
Adam
Troughton era,
Adamant.
so
Yeah.
it's like Torchwood.
Yeah.
Except it's like really, really Victorian prim Torchwood where no one has sex at all, otherwise Adam just like faints.
Yeah.
It's the anti-Torchwood.
Yes.
Magnificent.
Bold as a knight in white armor, cold as a shot from a gun. If you should look for a man who loves danger, to whom love is a stranger, this man is the one.
Okay, so we start in this posh house,
Yeah.
or somewhere around this posh house.
Yeah.
We have two posh nobles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can we have someone flying off a banister in the background? Because that's Adam. He's just been like saying to someone, "You must commit suicide, sir, because you're against the king and country." And he goes, "Yes, you're right." And
Let's hold that back for a scene. Let's hold that back for a scene. We'll come to it later.
I want to make it a running gag. It's when everybody walking around outside.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Adam invoking honor. I salute you, Adam Adamant.
Well, honor is central to the scene because one noble has dishonored the other's sister.
Ah,
Yeah.
So he challenges him to a duel, and the other guy who is being challenged,
Yeah.
the dishonorer, well, the dishonoree, is quite taken by this. He's like, "Yeah, I'll have your body, thank you."
thought of a line. I thought of a line, a better line than the one they had. You should have said, "I challenge you to a duel," and the other one goes, "A duel identity, maybe," and takes him over.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then you just cut loads of waffle,
Yeah,
and that's better.
excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
And we can get on to Adam.
Yeah, in this he says, "Oh, I want to be the bad one." So no, it's the dishonoree. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I want
Hang
to be
on.
the bad one. He takes
I've
over.
thought of a problem with Adam Adamant. Adam Adamant hasn't got an invisible spaceship.
Well, yeah.
Is that a problem with Adam Adamant?
Rogue has an invisible spaceship.
Well, true. Yes.
Thing is, though, after you've had the interminable look at my invisible spaceship
Mm-hmm.
scenes,
Mm-hmm.
it's never kind of seen or referred to again.
True, but as pointed out at the beginning, it's kind of skimpy on plot anyway. I think
Yeah, it is
stuff
quite
may not
quite
serve us. Yeah.
central to the plot that there is that he's got this thing that puts you in a triangle and zaps you
Yeah,
off to
that's
kill you.
true.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which
Having
isn't
said
really
that-
Adam Adamant style.
No.
Uh,
Could it be future Adamant? Could it be Adam Adamant's great grand thing come back in time for reasons?
Adam.
well, actually, I mean, you could have Adam Adamant and the Doctor exploring, and they find there's no explanation of how the aliens got there. They find their spaceship, and that's got the triangulation dude on
I
it.
suppose.
Maybe
So,
actually
Adam Adamant's
try and
spaceship cool.
explore those aliens a little bit more rather than just have them there for some fucking cosplay.
Thus filling our runtime a bit.
Because
Filling
how
our
did they
runtime,
get there?
yeah.
Is that explained how they got there?
Right,
Where's
that's
their
their
spaceship?
Great,
Where's
that's
their
their
spaceship? That's
spaceship.
true. Yeah,
There we
where
go.
is it?
It is actually shaped like a bird.
It's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
How these fuckers get there? Yeah, that makes no
I
sense.
don't know.
Yeah. It's just
Really long
totally glossed over. And the Doctor does nothing with either spaceship at the end. So there's two fucking
No, he puts the
spaceships
spaceship. He puts the spaceship behind the moon. That is explained.
Oh, right. Oh, it is
See, you
explained.
were
I must
reading.
have-
You were looking at your phone at that.
I was
point.
looking at my phone at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were checking your emails. That's what's happened
Yes.
there. Anyway, we come back and well, I mean, obviously, this is new series Who, so we start
Yeah.
immediately.
Actually,
with
no,
the
we don't
Doctor.
come back at all, do we? We're already in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're already in.
I don't think we start on the Doctor. I think we'll start with this pre-credit. Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd start with the
Whether
pre-credits,
Thea
but
does.
then I assume we would cut to the Doctor, Jamie, and whoever in the TARDIS, landing
In the TARDIS. Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
take it from there.
Mhm. We're going to have our typical Troughton era, two walls in the corner of the studio with the console pushed right back up against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scene.
exactly that.
Yeah.
If this is a few years later, it might even be set in Jamie's period, couldn't it? He comes from about 1845.
Adam Adamant's from a lot later than that.
Adam Adamant's from a lot later than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from like 1901.
Yeah. Anyway,
But like
just a
we said, it
passing
doesn't
thought.
have the period is kind of insignificant, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice
They
to know.
arrive at a time where people wear posh frocks and party a lot.
Yes.
1985.
Yeah. Where people wear kind of Victorian posh frocks, and they arrive in 1900. They arrive in 1900.
Yeah.
Because in 1901, Adam Adamant's going to meet the face and get frozen in ice, so we can't have that. Yes, this is before then.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely
I think-
Adam Adamant, is it?
Yes.
I think it's got to be Victoria in this because she, you know, and she's loving the fact that it's something she recognizes.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would work with Zoe because
Oh my God, Jamie is going to be seething at Adam Adamant. Just all the way, because he's going to hello to Victoria, and Victoria's going to go, why swoon, and Adam's going to go, fuck yeah. And Jamie's just going to be absolutely furious throughout.
Yes.
Kind of like William Hartnell. Just fucking, just off on one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, do we know that Victoria's from the Victorian era? In the Time Around universe?
It's called Victoria.
Just, people can be called Victoria and not be born
Yes,
between.
Evil of the Daleks, the date stated
1837 and
1880.
This could be her first story.
It could be.
She could be
it
at the
could be.
ball.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
In which case we have 7 episodes to fill.
7 episodes and Daleks, yeah.
Yeah, no, but there's this one.
If we
And
add
then-
Daleks
and then
into
a
this, that'll
four-parter.
pad it out.
Yeah.
We could do it like Invasion of Time. You defeat the bird people at the end of episode 4 and go hooray, and then turn around and just go down, 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 down. And Daleks get in. It's
Another
kind of
3
like,
episodes out of it, yeah.
We are superior at dancing.
yeah, and they'd start spinning around the place and all that sort of stuff. And then they kill the shite out of everyone.
Get a load of our moves.
Yeah, I don't know.
We are really bored with this one. We've thrown Adam Adamant at it. We're throwing Daleks at it. We've got Gerald Harper in.
Well, yeah, if we wanted to, we could introduce Victoria. Yeah, I don't know.
I would stick to it being a 3-part or something, but still have it being Victoria's introductory, and then see if we've got another 4-parter after that. Because this is going to happen again, where we have to stick a modern series 1 into the Troughton era.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
We're going to have to.
So
we're
we're
gonna have to
actually working on an
split those
episode
7 parts
basis.
up.
It's numbers of episodes we're working with rather than what they had originally.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's only the same as we've done with Dalek's Master Plan. So
Yeah.
we could work something out.
Fine. Okay. Cool.
All right. Okay. So it's the Doctor and Jamie in that case
Yeah.
who arrive and leave the TARDIS and find themselves at a Regency ball, or if not a Regency ball, maybe a Victorian ball, 1901.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a party, Jamie. A
party.
Come on.
Jamie doesn't want to go to parties, so the dog's like, "You're wearing a skirt."
Oh, I don't like parties,
he's
Doctor.
not into parties. There's not enough porridge at parties.
All that dancing and I didn't like it.
He's not going to hang out with these English toffs. He's going to want to kill them.
Yeah.
And quite right too, frankly.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, they gate crash this party, basically.
Yeah.
And it's quite a significant plot point in the original version, at least, that Jamie's wearing these earrings that tell him how to dance.
Oh dear.
He's got a
Sporran.
He's got a sporran.
Sporran.
Yeah, that vibrates.
Oh God.
The Doctor's repurposed the reacting vibrator.
I see. This story's coming back to where it started. Excellent. Okay, good.
Yeah.
You can imagine Jamie's kind of, gets talking to some young lady there.
Mm.
And it's all going quite well. And she's, "Hey, excuse me, sir, your sporran seems to be vibrating." Oh,
Oh no.
Oh, it'll be the 60s version of Damn These Electric Sax Pants.
Oh, what's happening again?
Oh, Spawn. Oh dear. Yeah. So yeah, they've gatecrashed this party. They get approached by the hostess, the Duchess of Pemberton, who instead of chucking them out,
Joyce Grenfell.
Grace Grenfell.
Joyce
Yeah.
Grenfell.
Joyce Grenfell. Okay, yeah, no, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Doing her thing, doing her dotty thing.
Yeah. Jamie, don't do that.
Don't do that. I cannot help it.
It's Miss Sporran.
Fetch the doctor.
The great thing about her is she immediately drags Jamie off to meet some suitors. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and the doctor's loving that. He's just
some young
chuckling
ladies.
quite happily and clapping his hands. You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that's actually Amy.
No, yeah, he went a bit Amy now.
It is mad. I mean, they try and convince this Duchess that they're posh and that they belong there, and rather than going no and chucking them out instantly, she's like, "All right, fine. You know, you've gatecrashed. Don't worry about it."
I think the doctor comes up with something like Dr. Von Ver, you know, he just comes up with, I'm an eccentric genius, and plays on the sense of vanity of having not just poshly dressed guests, but high, important people.
Yeah, he's an eccentric.
Plays on it. Does something clever. That says clever things and gets in that way, and Jamie's supporting it and going, oh, he's not right, you know.
Yeah.
So, Jamie goes dancing. Meanwhile, the doctor's eyes meet a strange, handsome man standing up on the balcony. Adamant.
Adamant.
Do we get a bit of music like that? Maybe we do.
Every time you see him.
When it comes in through a door.
There's a little fanfare. Yeah. So, well, part of the thing with the sporrans been picking up interference, there's...
Sporrans are so instantly funny anyway. You can make a lot out of a sporran. Do a lot with it.
That would make that you would get some good comedy moments out of that.
You absolutely would.
She's introducing him to all these beautiful young ladies, and he's just like, oh, Miss Sporran.
Yeah, Sporran starts flashing and doing radiophonica.
Yeah, it would be flashing. Yeah.
Flashing. Trying to become fiddling with it,
spinning around and flashing.
Yeah. Occasionally going, whee!
So yeah, there's a signal basically that the doctor traces to somewhere. I mean, it's obviously it's Rogue in the original version. Is Adamant generating a signal?
I think the alien spaceship.
So he's immediately traced the spaceship,
and he ends up kind of teaming up with Adamant because Adamant he thinks he's suspicious, so he's kind of following the doctor, and then the doctor finds the spaceship.
Rather than having them have a massive flirty conversation, how about that?
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Yeah,
they have a conflict instead.
Yeah.
Commercial time.
We are going on a journey, a very long journey, through the world of the Target novelizations in publication order. Every week, we are looking at a new book, talking about Terrence Dicks, Malcolm Hulke, and all our Doctor Who novelization friends. Whatever you do, keep turning the pages. This is Jason Miller of the Doctor Who Literature Podcast, a member of the Direction Point Podcast Network, and you are listening to Woof Time Ram.
So the Doctor's following a signal that he thinks is coming from this spaceship.
Yeah.
And obviously Adamant clocks him.
Yeah.
And says, what's this guy about?
He must be a French spy.
Must be a French whore. Why is Adamant there? What is he investigating? Has there been some bad murders? Okay. Just investigate the party. Right, okay.
And possible French spies.
He sees the Doctor acting suspicious.
Yeah.
Louise has said, come to this party, it'll be great fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it'll be one of Louise's earlier plans to try and get rid of him. Before she met the fierce.
The fierce.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man. Gonna fucking knock you, Adamant. Don't mess with the fierce. Midge.
Is that how he talked?
That's how he talked. That was the face, yes.
That was the face.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
absolutely, yes.
I haven't seen any episodes with the face in, so I'll take your word for it.
Nice.
I think there's only one exists, isn't it? Because one is.
No, there's one from the second season.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
two from the second season.
2.
Is that Black Echo?
Yes.
I love that title, Black Echo.
There's 3 because he's in the last one of that season as well, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
He appears on the screen a bit, and he's got a clawy robot hand that he goes with, which is clearly Jack Kine pushing it up in front of him, going. Sorry, listener, that perhaps fails without the hand movement, but seek out the final episode of Adam Adamant that exists, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yes. More interesting than Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vastly more interesting than Rogue.
Okay.
Maybe the face can be behind this. We don't know that the face is a human. Maybe the
Yeah,
face.
he wears a mask. He rips off his mask.
Yeah,
it's so great.
I got that.
God, that's a deep cut, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Too deep for this listenership.
Yeah.
What's the wrong, listener? Too deep for you? Too deep for me, that's for sure.
That's what Jamie's saying to Rogue. Oh no, it's Adam Adamant now. No, that won't be
Adam Adamant. Yeah, we've literally cut Rogue from Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it now called Adamant then?
Adamant.
Excellent.
We're going to get letters.
No, we're not. No one sends letters these days. Because no one has our addresses.
Okay. Obviously Adamant's watching the room, and he follows the doctor outside.
Yeah.
Because he's a fast mover.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I guess Jamie's being introduced to Victoria.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's an
immediate sporrans off on one. I mean, it's just controllable.
Yeah.
He sees it and his sporran goes nuts.
Yep.
So okay.
It's like to know why you're being served.
Oh dear. What have we done to the gayest episode ever? I mean, this is not right.
Sorry, the gayest episode ever.
Yeah, I know. Apologies.
It's now the most sporrany episode ever.
It's not us doing it. It's being made in 1967.
Well, yes.
BBC to go out at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know.
I should say also at the party is the bad man.
Oh yeah.
The bad man who is in fact an alien in disguise.
Yes.
Nobody really mentions anyone's names properly in this episode, so it took me ages to track down. It is in fact Lord Barton.
Okay. Right, Lord Barton. That's a boring name, isn't it?
Yeah.
No wonder I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the problems with this story is that you're not really. It's hard to get any attachment to the characters because there's
not much depth, is there?
They're underdeveloped, and then most of them at some point are dead. You know.
Yeah.
They're there. You don't care about them. Then they're dead, and that's. It's almost like the writers don't care about anybody but the Doctor and Rogue.
Absolutely.
Just the Doctor and Rogue. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously in the original version, Rose. Is it Rose? It's not Rose, is it? What the fuck's her name? Ruby.
Might as well be Rose.
That was Freudian, wasn't it?
Controversial.
Yeah. So Ruby gets introduced by the Duchess to this arsehole, and immediately clocks that he's an arsehole with her natural northern sass. And then one way or another, she ends up witnessing him chatting up another girl that's at the party called Emily Beckett.
Yeah.
And then obviously she befriends Emily Beckett. Maybe that should be Victoria. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, it does imply that he's shagged her. Well, actually, not in 1967, it doesn't. So
yeah.
It's
got to be Jamie kind of protecting Victoria's honor, isn't it? From
maybe he tries it on with her a little bit. Yeah.
but in a less,
It'll be that he'll take a card down. Yeah.
in a less overtly sexual way. Because this is a really sexual episode.
Really.
I mean,
I mean, it's the Bridgerton thing, isn't it? They're constantly going on about Bridgerton, which I've not watched Bridgerton, but I assume it involves a lot of bonking.
I've never seen an episode, but it's going to be a body stripper, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to hope that anybody watching it with their kids, it goes over the kids' heads.
I assume so.
Because
yeah.
there's quite a lot of implicit shagging going on there.
Yeah. I mean, Bridgerton, I'm sure, features quite a lot more shagging than was actually happening in 1813.
Yes.
How much shagging was happening in 1813, Baz?
I really don't know. I suspect.
Right.
I suspect less than Bridgerton. If you've
Right.
got a graph, okay,
you're
going to show 1813 down here, Bridgerton up here somewhere, and there's going to be a line between those 2 points, which is a kind of a slope.
But we're going to have words like correlation and ratio.
Yes.
Yes, nice. Good. All right, I'm believing it. Fine, I'm down.
That's why I don't have empirical evidence. I haven't done the research.
You say you don't have empirical evidence.
I was not in either location.
Yeah, I think we need a Venn diagram, don't we, with Bridgerton?
Yeah.
And, 1813. And a tiny little sliver in the middle that's marked shagging, where they overlap.
Can I add another little sliver in a corner off to an offset that says Macra? Not as part of the shagging, just they're there. Just that they're around.
It's just outside the Venn diagram.
Yeah. Not in Bridgerton or 1813, yeah.
That lord with the boring name, we could call him Lord Macra, maybe?
Lord Macra.
And he could be a Macra?
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah?
I think they might notice.
Well, he's disguised. He's got a tash and a wig and a hat. And he's got a big suit. It's really quite big, but it would be impolite to draw attention to it.
He's not really very good at the dancing, when he rumbles.
Flattering sideways.
The Macra's just totally using the politeness of Victorian society. Just no one say a word, all right? No one say a word, okay? So he's just sitting there being a fucking Macra, introducing people, kind of chatting up Victoria. And Jamie just smacks someone. He says, no, Macra. It's a cocktail. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just trying to jazz the episode up a bit.
Yeah.
As if Adam Adamant and the Doctor isn't enough. It's just because that guy had a really boring name.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah. You could change his name,
To Macra.
While this is going on, the Duchess bumps into a housekeeper.
Yeah.
Who's a bit impolite to her. And then takes over her body, basically. Yeah.
Just say about this scene, a horrible fucking stodgy piece of dialogue.
Yeah.
Where she goes, "You're my housekeeper. You're outside in the garden where you're not supposed to be." And you're thinking, oh, fucking hell, you could put that with more subtlety than that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the dialogue is stodgy in this. It's very, and
It's like spelling it out for somebody who can't work out that this woman in a housekeeper's outfit outside is a housekeeper outside.
It is a bit dumb, this one as well, isn't it? Just watching it again. It's only the second time I've watched it.
Same here.
And it did seem dumb down,
Yeah. But that really leapt out at me when I was watching it this time, that bit of dialogue, I thought. It's funny, it's a bit like you were saying something a few weeks ago, Roop, about that some of the streaming channels request scripts to spell out information for people who are watching and doing other things at the same time. And that seems that sort of thing to me. That's what that seems like to me.
Yeah.
It's spelling it out to somebody who's not paying attention.
Absolutely.
It seems like the sort of thing
to do that.
Disney would ask for, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, ironically, you were exactly that person.
Well, on a podcast, spelling it out is pretty much your USP, isn't it?
But no. As in, he was sitting on his phone not watching Rogue because. But that's the trouble.
I see what you're
But that's the trouble. That you give dialogue like that. You have seen. I was bored watching it. I skipped through some bits.
Yeah.
I skipped through the ending as well because I remembered it and went, oh Christ. But we're way off that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be how Adam Adamant gets to the 20th century.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Get sent through with like a triangle, man. By the
Yeah.
Force.
Fucking triangle. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's it. This is where we get the scene where, in the original version, Ruby witnesses an angry scene between Lord Barton and Emily. So
Mhm.
yeah, this could be Lord Barton trying it on with Victoria, and Jamie
Yeah.
steps in and punches him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he staggers off, vowing revenge.
Right in the claw.
Right in the
Yeah.
claw. Yeah. Staggers off, going, "Ah, me claw!
Yeah, he does. He does.
Oh, me fucking claw!"
Oh, we fucking claw, man. It's knacking.
Well, the Macra get quite hysterical when you attack them, don't they? They'll go, no, no, do not let them. All like that in episode 4. No!
Needs his gas at that point, doesn't he? Yeah.
He needs his gas. He's off for his gas. He's
off
been
for his
punched.
gas.
He just came for a bop. He gets punched in the claw,
Yeah.
turned down by Victoria. He's off for a gas.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's going to sit in the corner by himself,
Yeah.
shunned by society.
The Doctor and Adam are arguing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they find the
Adam will have him at
Duchess's body.
sword point. He'll have his sword stick
Yeah.
out and doing that, and Troughton will be going, oh, and doing business to get out of it.
Yeah. Maybe we could squeeze in an episode ending around this point. If we got Macra at one end and Troughton getting threatened with a sword at the other end, maybe we're driving towards some kind of
that's
climax.
a good cliffhanger. Yeah. So the cliffhanger is that, like, basically, a Macra rumbles out of the party coming for Victoria.
Yeah.
And Jamie's going to get into a fight. And Adam pins the Doctor with his sword.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, please be quiet.
Cool. All right, episode 2. Off we go.
All right. Okay.
So we know that Jamie punches the Macra and it goes off for a gas.
Yeah, goes
Yeah.
off some gas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, Adam and the Doctor accuse each other of doing murders, and I'm not quite sure how we get there at this point because Rogue has a gun on him. Rogue's a bounty hunter from the future.
Yeah.
I assume he's from the future. It's not specified when Rogue or where Rogue comes from.
No, but he's got
Rogue's
tech.
background is left really vague.
Yeah.
It's like they don't want to go, "Oh, it's Captain Jack." Yeah.
There's that as well.
Yes, though.
This
He
character
really
has been
is.
done before and better.
Yes.
Yes.
This exact character.
Yes. Yes.
In New Who as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not that long ago.
And he fancied the Doctor too.
Yeah.
So all that has been done before. Yeah.
Yes. This is very much retreading old ground.
Yeah. However, in the Troughton era, I think maybe it's one of those things where the Doctor just sort of snaps and goes, "Look, we haven't got time for this. There's something going on." Maybe Adam, he's putting together what Adam's accusing him of and going, "Wait a minute, this is very bad."
Yeah. Maybe the Doctor can reveal the invisible spaceship, and Adam's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they kind of
show me inside of the TARDIS just briefly.
yeah,
Now will you listen to me?
yeah."
Um,
Gives him a big snog. Brilliant.
Yeah. But I think we don't need the TARDIS. Let's just have him revealing the spaceship. Let's
Yeah. They could kind of find it. I mean, he's looking for it, but they could actually find it by accident because he's got him at sword point. The Doctor's backing away and he just bashes his head on something.
Bump into it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my word!
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear!
And all you need to do is a dissolve to make it
Yeah.
a ruler of a model shot. So that's
Yeah.
easy enough to do. And then you
Cut to the
you
big
have the
side.
studio
Yeah,
break and
yeah,
you put the set of the ship in and you carry on.
Yeah.
So it's all completely feasible.
Great.
And
Okay.
Adam's like, "What madness is this?"
Mm-hmm.
So it's the
doing
Doctor that
useful.
spots this is a Cholder ship,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and the Cholder are shapeshifters.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, sure it's not the Hun.
Yeah.
He'd be like Colonel Breen in Quatermass for a bit. He'd be constantly trying to blame, like, enemies of the king.
Yeah.
yeah.
The Doctor's kind of jumping up and down, going, "No, they can't do this." And I think you have the Doctor demonstrating the triangle. I think the triangle is going to be because he says it's a portal. It's a sort of portal
Yeah.
to his agents or his buyers.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm convinced that's the way that Adam was going to get into 1966.
Yeah.
Maybe they're exploring this spaceship and the triangle's like a trap or something.
Yeah.
They get sent to 1966.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But because the Doctor's time, he finds a way to reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're there for that can be a chunk of episode 2. They're in 1966.
They're in 1966.
Look at the fucking skirts, man. All that sort of bit, and is having a breakdown basically, and finally believing the Doctor. And the doctor's doing like he always does. Troughton does a lot. He makes a bit of junk to reverse it, but he's got to make it in a certain time frame, otherwise they won't be able to catch the end of the triangle's influence thing.
Yeah.
So maybe they have to have a kind of a mad race around Soho to find various electronic components and get them before that time expires.
Told in a photo montage.
No, this is your location. This is a couple of days of location shooting. This is fine. This is You've got your 1 day at Ealing. You've got a couple of days out in Soho.
I like the photo montage. Standing outside the red radio shop.
You'd have that music from Adam Adamant. You'd have that dun 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 dee 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 dee. You have all that going on because they're establishing them. This is totally like that episode of Star Trek where they're clearly setting up for the spin-off series that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Except this one does.
Yeah.
Harry 7.
Well, I mean,
yes, that's it. Yeah.
Doesn't it spin off into a series that's already been made by this point?
Adam Adamant.
Yeah, didn't that come out before Troughton?
That's an origin story.
Okay, yeah.
But no, because this is a time ram universe, so we're in Adam Adamant stuff.
Whatevs. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's all right, because I mean this is a long sequence in the middle of the episode with the Doctor and Rogue getting to know each other. And I mean Ruby pops up a couple of times, but frankly, who gives a shit? This
is replaced by the Doctor and Adam running around Soho.
Yeah. So instead of them in the ship and the flirting and looking at Rogue's D&D dice, because apparently that's hot for some reason, and his love for Kylie Minogue, we've got 1966. We've got
we've got 1966 running around doing a thing and the Beatles playing in the background.
Yeah, they actually bump into the real John Lennon. We can do that.
We can do that. Yeah,
we can do that.
We actually can do that. They've got them for like 5 minutes of a day.
And the Doctor tells him that they've just come from a Victorian dance with a giant crab and aliens. The shift, and John Lennon's like, fucking hell.
And starts writing.
Yeah, immediately sits down and writes Strawberry Fields. He's like, right, okay.
Well, I am the walrus in our universe comes out as I am the Macra.
Let me take you down to 1901.
We've got
no, I think it's in my invisible spaceship.
Another one somewhere as well. Cool. We can get meta. We can get meta at one point to go into like a bar and there's someone singing and it's Cassie Kirby, and she's singing the Adam Adamant theme.
Right. Yeah. Meta. Yeah.
Yeah. All that's happening. Great.
Excellent. So that's replacing a lot of stuff here with the Doctor taking Rogue into the TARDIS, and they have a long conversation. About who they've lost, which isn't very Troughton at all, is it?
Too
long.
It's so long.
Long.
And the TARDIS is so big.
Yeah. So empty.
I think it's too big. You just get lost in it. It's just
it is too big, and I was thinking
like now
there's nothing in it. It's just too empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking this the other day when I was seeing trailers for the new series, and I was thinking it's that big, but they never use that space.
No,
because you can't.
They go up ramps and they go to the console bit, and that's it. And you think you've got all this space, and you're not using it for anything. You're not
massive, and it's limited.
Yeah,
it's bizarre, really. Yeah, because you can only go on the ramps.
Yeah,
they don't go anywhere. You can't go through the doors. They don't lead anywhere.
Areas of void that nothing can happen in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a strange choice. So I don't know how much of that to go into really. I mean,
I'll do it now.
No.
Replaced it with a run round
We replaced
Soho
it.
and John Lennon and
Okay, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we move on. We move on. We move on.
And I would guess, and basically, eventually, the Doctor they managed to do it in time, and then maybe that's the cliffhanger to episode 2 because we've just covered a chunk of episode 2 with this.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
occasional cut back to what's going on, in the studio.
Yeah, well, yeah, back in the studio, Jamie and Victoria are kind of getting to know each other. They find a dead housekeeper.
Mhm.
They go dancing as well. Doesn't lead to
Of
much.
course.
But yeah, they find a dead body.
It's the background going fuck.
These aliens are shit, aren't they? Because they shape shift, and then they just leave the corpses
just everywhere,
just wherever, where
littering,
anybody can find them,
littering the pathways.
Just like cosplayers.
Yeah, they don't attempt to like disguise them, hide them, or disintegrate them or anything. Nah, just leave them there.
Just like cosplayers leaving bodies lying around the street.
Yeah.
Just, not giving a shit.
Fucking cosplayers.
Fucking cosplayers.
They're not even going to be cosplayers in this, are they? That concept was not around.
No, there was no
I
such
suppose
thing as
in practice it was. People made Dalek suits. But yeah, it wasn't all that.
I mean, it's a very weak motivation, isn't it? I mean, I don't know
it's incredibly weak.
What they'd be doing in the Troughton or what they're doing there.
I mean, it's going to be something maybe probably less interesting in the Troughton. It's going to be they're invading.
Yeah.
Well, I like the connection to 966. I mean, maybe they need to fix their spaceship, and that's why they've got a time portal of some description.
Would they get notified that the portal had been activated? Because that would be a great cliffhanger. Adam and the Doctor get back from 1966, and they get rematerialized in the ship, and they're surrounded.
Yeah.
Man,
there's not much left of Rogan. This is okay.
There's not a lot. There's not much at all. It's fairly simple. But there's not much in Rogue in the first place.
It really isn't.
And because of because it's 1967, not much that we can use.
Yeah.
But hey, we've got Adam Adamant and John Lennon and Soho and
Well, let's make them a bit more desperate. They're trying to survive. They're being pursued by this Macra.
Is he like Constable Zogroff? The random policeman going, no, I'm disguised.
Actually, he can't be really, can he? Because Lord Barton is one of them. Lord Barton's a shoulder. Shape-shifting shoulder.
Well, maybe they're all Macra
then. And nobody notices.
They're just looking for some gas.
Like
somebody disappears, then a Macra turns up wearing a little wig on the top that looks kind of a bit like that.
And then they go, oh, yes, Duchess, have you changed your hair?
Yes, it is cosplay.
Yeah.
Look over there.
Yes.
There are no such thing as Macra.
Yeah, well, they could be just using the mesmeric prongs, couldn't they?
Yeah.
I'd use mesmeric. If I had them, I'd use them all the time.
Observe the mesmeric prongs.
But maybe Jamie can counteract them with his throbbing sporran. Win.
They try and mesmerize him, and his sporran's just going.
Yeah, just reacting against it. Yeah, they cannot mesmerize him. He's Scottish.
Yeah.
Another deep cut.
Yes.
Tell you what, our Troughton era is absolutely bonkers, isn't it?
It's fantastic. I love it. I want to see it. We're going to make 10 years' time. We'll be able to make it with AI.
Well, it's the late 60s.
Yeah.
Everybody was on drugs.
This. Yeah. They know their audience.
That thing that people always say about 60s television, which kind of isn't true, where they always kind of go, oh, they were all on drugs. They kind of weren't, but they are in our version.
I can't imagine Innes Lloyd popping out for a toke, but I don't know who directed this. Who directed Evil Dies? Derek Martinez, isn't it?
Derek Martinez.
Yeah.
Great. Fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be good then.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Ambassadors. Ambassadors use the same sets for Doomwatch, and they back-to-backed it. Maybe they back-to-backed it with episode 1 of Adam Adamant.
Yeah.
And that meant Verity was kind of, back around for a bit, and it was all fun. It was in the radiotomies.
They had a bit more money for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to, at the very end of the 1966 bit, you'd have, just as they're kind of disappearing or into something to go back, you'd have to have Juliet Harmer.
Yes.
Just kind of walking into shot and saying,
wait. Yeah, absolutely, that happens.
Yeah.
So, in the original version, the Doctor and Rogue to pull out the shoulder decide they need to create a scene, and so they have a dance together in 1813,
Mhm.
which turns out not to be a big enough scene.
No.
Yeah.
So they get a bit intense with each other,
They do.
and then Rogue gets his ring out.
He does.
I think in this version, this would then be them pretending to have like a duel or something, wouldn't it? It would be them pretending to.
Well, in
cause a
this
scene
version,
by
they've kind
pretending.
of
They're not
already got
even
their
there.
attention.
Oh,
They're in the
yeah.
spaceship surrounded by angry Cholder.
Oh
At the end
yeah.
of episode 2, yeah. We've
Yeah.
really gone completely away. I think from now on, we'll better just make it up as we go along.
Yes.
Um, so, episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So they distract the Cholder by proposing. I don't know.
no, the Doctor flings the second lever on his device, and the children all briefly vanish into the triangle.
Yeah.
It'll
Okay.
only last for about 5 seconds, and they're off
Right. Mm-hmm.
or something.
Okay. And then he goes, Adam, run.
Or maybe he threatens to blow up their triangle.
Oh.
Maybe he brandishes the machine, which is useless now. It has worked once. It's complete bluff.
Yeah.
And he just bluffs the way out. He's just holding it in front of him and going, "You one step closer, then I'll blow it up."
Well, let's say he takes it with him because they do use it for the climax of the story, don't they? So you can
Yeah.
take it away.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he gets Adam. Adam kind of pushes them off with his sword and
Yeah.
picks up the triangle.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of standoff all the way back to the house.
Yeah.
hmm
And in the house, the Macra go, "You have stolen our triangle," and all the women faint.
Yeah. Unless I do like the idea of that single Macra being a policeman. I just love the idea of some Galactic Federation sending a fucking Macra undercover. Macra.
He's just pretending to be a Cholder. He's actually a Macro policeman.
Yeah. There
Right.
we go.
Okay,
There
we
we
are.
go.
Right.
Yeah. And the children haven't noticed him because they think he's cosplaying.
Yeah.
Macra.
We've squared that triangle. Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's the other series they were trying to spin off, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Inspector Macra.
Inspector Macra.
Undercover Macra.
So title sequence like Maygrey, where he's just standing in an alley with a cigarette in his claw.
With that music going, yeah.
Yeah. Moody Dicing. Right. Puts his little hat on and off he trundles. With you and Solomon.
Zoot the law.
Like on undercover Macra here, and like half the wall comes down as he tries to get into the room. I will be there in a moment. Wait.
Don't look at me, look at the mesmeric prongs.
Yes. I don't know how that series didn't get made.
I know.
It's a mystery. It is, yeah.
But hey, Adam Adamant lived, so we got that in the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot packed into a 3-parter. Fucking hell.
It's getting longer, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the children give chase, I guess, to the Doctor and Adam. There's that scene where they hide in the top of a carriage, the Doctor and Rogue, which I mean maybe we could use or not, I don't know. I mean it would be something from the original episode that we'd be using.
I suppose, yeah.
And this is the scene I was going to mention. It ties into what I was saying earlier. The children talk about going to London and starting a war with the French, the Spanish, or the Portuguese. And I was immediately kind of taken out the story, I must admit, because I was like, hang on, this is the Napoleonic Wars. They're talking about starting a war with the French.
Yeah.
At a time in the Napoleonic Wars where we were fighting the French in Spain with our allies, the Portuguese.
They're a bit stupid, really, aren't they, the children?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take a lot of research. I mean, we were also fighting a war at this time in America, actually.
Yeah.
We were sailing out with the Potomac and setting light to the White House. So, all this talk about
from our past.
Yeah. Even the most basic research, the most basic glance at a dictionary research would have told them we were at war with the French in 1813. So maybe I shouldn't go on about this, but
No, you should.
it bored my piss a little
You
bit.
get paid a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get paid a chunk to write one of these.
Exactly. I mean, they got a whole production team working on this, and not one single person went,
Indeed.
hang on,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, very strange.
Maybe it'll all turn out to be a plan by the toy maker. Maybe he's been fucking about with Earth history or the monk. Or I don't know what.
My current theory is they're not actually in 1813. They're just in Bridgerton World, which is an entirely separate little bubble universe.
And in the land of fiction.
It's
The
like
land
the
of
Time Ram universe.
Land
isn't
of
it?
fiction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Time universe. The Bridgerton universe. Yeah.
Like Weep Space. It's kind of like.
So yeah, they meet up with Jamie and Victoria, I guess.
Yeah.
The doctor's got a new plan.
Mhm.
And Jamie admits that, well, Ruby admits that she's from the future. Jamie admits he's from the past.
Yes.
And obviously, in the original version, Ruby's admitting this to Emily, who turns out to be a children.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's not happening here.
No,
No,
Victoria's
probably
not.
No. So, yeah, the other children, they're a bit mad. They invade the party and decide to have a big wedding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You'd kind of hope the undercover Macra would do something about this.
Yes.
Maybe something different happens. Yeah.
He's just not breaking cover, is he? He's just staying in his corner with his gas. Not helping.
I guess if the children are chasing the doctor and Adam, they can just burst in and start killing people. And,
I think, let's bring everyone into the room now. Let's get everyone in.
Yeah. And then
how
they just have to stop them.
How do you think the children would look at that time?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I suppose I'm inclined to say a bit like the Dracondans, but a bit more pronounced, a little bit more pantomime-ish, if they go with the whole bird thing.
Yeah.
But no.
They're quite pantomime-ish anyway. I mean, I was not impressed with the look of them.
I think they look all right. I just don't like the fact that it's very it's very obviously the actor that's the last person whose body they've taken over that's playing the alien, and you're thinking,
particularly when it's Indira Varma, famous, well-known Torchwood actress. In both parts.
You're thinking, so does she still look like that as a Childa if she's taken over somebody else?
Yeah, it's mad.
Because she does look exactly like that last person that she took over.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're the chameleons from.
I thought the faceless ones earlier.
Faceless ones,
Nah, let's
not waste them.
We don't know when we're going to get the chameleons. We're only in the Troughton era. We'll get the chameleons for McCoy or Tennant. We'll get the faceless.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I mean, there could be something that looks a bit like that because they wouldn't design them that way 30 any other era. There's no ability to see or breathe.
There's nothing that says that there should be bird-like in the script. Again, there's no reason for them to be like that, so they can be like anything. Or they could be like the Ice Warriors. I don't know. It could be anything really.
Or just very sort of blank faced.
It's the end of the season, so they're probably going to be cheap.
Yeah. So chameleons. Okay. All right. So they set up their triangle time trap thing. Maybe the doctors reset it to blast them into the far future.
Yeah. How do they get it off Adam? Do they attack Adam and get the triangle off him in some way? Do the power back? Because as far as I recall, when we left the ship, Adam and the doctor had control of the triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they just call the doctor's bluff basically and go, no, that thing isn't a bomb, is it?
Well, essentially, in the episode as it stands, it is the doctor sets it off. He gets them all in one place because they're having a wedding.
Yeah.
He assumes that Ruby is dead and that this is not the real Ruby, and traps them all together in the same triangle. Yeah. Which is going to kill them because it's going to blast them off to some kind of death prison.
Death triangle.
Yeah, death triangle. So no, it's not actually. It's originally set to kill them, but he's changed it so it's going to blast them off into some deserted dimension.
Yeah.
And then we get quite a long, I'd say reasonably tedious section where he's worrying about killing Ruby.
I skipped a lot of this.
Yeah.
And you do tend to think. I mean, I certainly thought when I was watching that. Well, if you were fucking there instead of fanning around with Rogue. this
Indeed.
wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not blameless here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to address the rogue in the room, I mean, the fact that he goes for this guy so immediately,
Yeah.
so lustfully,
Yeah.
is really not like the Doctor
Really out of character.
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. And turns his back on his and leaves his companion
friend.
to her own
Yeah.
devices, who's supposed to be, was she supposed to be 16 or something?
Something like that, isn't it?
Something
I
like
think,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem, like you were saying, it doesn't feel like the Doctor. It doesn't feel like he would abandon a 16-year-old girl to go flanging after somebody else.
Yeah.
Male or female or
Male or
whatever.
female, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing an episode where the Doctor has a homosexual attraction to someone. It's just, I feel like this isn't a good version of that story.
No.
No. Yeah.
I always put my cards on the table in the same way. I don't like the Doctor being attracted to people. I just don't like that aspect.
No.
However it's represented. Haven't liked it since Paul began.
I mean, you could argue the girl in the fireplace is essentially the same setup and fails for the same reason, but it does have more going on in it.
Yeah, it does. Better story.
Better story. Yeah.
Better story.
At the end of the day,
even though, and I'll die on this hill, he's supposed to be in love with Rose at that point, and he's cheating on Rose with Madame de Pompadour.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in with anything else that's going on around it. There's clearly Moffat said, "Can I do this?" And RTD was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But again, I didn't like the Doctor doing that. I didn't like the Doctor being like that in The Girl in the Fireplace. Just being led by a nads. It's
Yeah, it's just not the character we've come to know.
It's supposed to be what we do, not what the Doctor does.
Yeah. The thing for the Doctor is the humans are like a mayflies, He can't get into a relationship with a human because they're going to be gone, 60 years.
Yeah. And that was an interesting dynamic, a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't really imagine. It's hard to. I mean, we're doing this with Troughton. It's hard to imagine any of the classic series Doctors doing that.
Yeah.
You can't imagine Tom going, Amelia Rumford.
I can totally imagine Tom doing that.
But Tom, but not the Fourth Doctor.
Not the Fourth Doctor.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Yeah, you do have to wonder at this point what is so special about Rogue that it's got the Doctor's interest, because it would need to be.
Yeah.
And Rogue bores me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it needs to be more than it's got a nice bump. It needs to be something else.
One of those characters that bores me in media who are just come in and start pirouetting and mincing immediately and going, look how amazing I am.
Yeah.
I always want to go, well, go on then, do something amazing, prove it.
Yeah.
Be amazing then. Jack, it worked with Jack, you see, because it was very obviously an act. It was revealed.
Yeah.
He got desperate fairly quickly. He was seen to be out of his depth fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, this is bravado, this is a front, this is the persona that this character puts on. Kind of like the Doctor was doing in that season as well.
Yeah.
The Ninth Doctor put on a front a lot of the time. But you knew it wasn't, you knew it was a front.
You get more background to Captain Jack. You learn a lot more about what he's about.
Yeah.
It's so vague in this. I find it very odd. Yeah.
It is. There's There's time spent oddly.
Yeah.
In it. I think time has been spent better in many ways.
Yeah.
It feels to me, like from a writing perspective, like a story that's where they've said, right, we want to have this, the Doctor's romance. We want to have this, a ball. We want to have this, whatever. Now let's think of a story that will tie those things together. And that's not always having set pieces and trying to tie together set pieces isn't always the best way to write a story, because
it is all set pieces. The logic doesn't back it up particularly. So what are we doing for the climax? I mean, presumably the Doctor is still trying to gather them in one place, trying to deal with the problem.
The Doctor's going to come up with some clever double cross. He's gonna in the Troughton-esque way, he's gonna make them spring the trap themselves.
Yeah.
Out of greed or fear or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll maybe he pushes them too far, and their only option. And the policeman, the Macra finally comes forward and goes, I'm undercover Macra, constable of place, me, and you're all under arrest. And then they know they're busted. And so their options then become limited, so they become more desperate, which also completely justifies this fucking Macra being there.
Maybe they take Victoria hostage at this point. Maybe they're
going to take Victoria hostage.
Yeah.
I think the doctors, to get them in one place, though, I think he would use Adam Adamant as bait, because they've got this thing about, this bloke's great, we want to cosplay him. He needs to big up Adam and go, this guy's a spy, he's got a sword cane, he's this man of action,
Yeah. Nice. It's really, really hot. Yeah.
He's like a knight in white armor. Cold
as the shot from a gun.
If you're looking for a man who loves danger, to whom love is a stranger,
this man is the one.
Yes. And then
that's great.
What a bit of that.
So that's it's all right. So that's the bait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then do they kind of up the game by taking Victoria hostage, or have they already taken a hostage?
Maybe they've already taken a hostage.
She's on the triangle.
She's in the triangle. They've knocked out Jamie. She's in the triangle. And they can't set off the triangle. Adam Adamant won't do it while she's in there. And the doctor won't do it either because he's a decent human being. So Adamant has to jump in.
Yeah.
And of course he would. He absolutely would.
Yeah.
Absolutely would. Yeah.
And just at the moment he activates it, the doctor leaps for his fallen device and throws the lever again. And so instead of Adamant being disintegrated or whatever it was going to do, he's 1966.
Yeah.
And the children, where are they? Are they?
Yeah, I don't know what happens to them. I was coming to them. The Macra storms forward with a fucking cannon. It's just remembered it's got, and says, "Don't move, motherfuckers! I'm taking you in." And they get herded off to be taken back for justice. Macra justice. Macra justice. Undercover Macra.
Yeah.
And then there's a vote hosted by probably someone like Jimmy Savile after this, saying, "Okay, viewers, which of these spin-off series do you want to see? It's Undercover Macra or Adam Adamant Lives."
I just want to see the Undercover Macra sort of lock them up in his spaceship and then just light up a cigarette. Just goes.
Yeah, he just lights up a Galois.
Gets his Galois out, reports back.
Goes
you
upside.
saw on the screen. Did it go all right, boss? Yeah. Got the motherfuckers. Time to go home. Not to make great talk like that, but what the hell? We're flinging everything at this one.
We're trying. You can't say we're not trying.
You can't say this is boring.
Absolutely.
One of our complaints about Rogue was that it was boring. This isn't boring.
This is fantastic. So they're locked up and they're off. And that's that. And Victoria's left as the only one standing because everyone else got massacred at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Victoria's family got massacred. She's an orphan now. There we are. So
were her family there? Is this her family home it's all happened in?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Let's say it was. Good.
Maybe the Duchess was her mum. There you go. The Duchess was her mum.
Duchess was her mum. Nice.
And so now she's
Joyce Grenfell. Joyce Grenfell's Victoria's mum.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Time on Universe was great.
So she decides to go with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And get out of these long skirts into something a bit shorter.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
And Jamie Sporran is going berserk.
Yeah, Jamie Sporran's just completely mad. The doctor finally just takes it off him. So you're not having that anymore. You don't need it anymore. It's useful. You just want it, don't you? You can't have it.
The Sporran escapes.
I want it.
The Sporran escapes at his last scene going over the hills into the distance.
Maybe the Sporran dived off just as the triangle was closing and followed Adam Adamant, so he can have a kind of comedy Sporran sidekick as well as Juliet Harmer and Jack May. That's great.
So the final shot is 1966. We just zoom in on the Sporran.
I think the final shot. I think we have the TARDIS dematerializing as they all go, all that sort of bit, or they just walk out in that Troughton-esque way,
Yeah.
and then we go. Meanwhile, in 1966, and it's basically him arriving in Piccadilly and wandering around off his tits. It's all that stuff. We just substitute the block of ice for the triangle.
Yeah.
Right.
And there we go.
There we are.
Then after the end titles, you have the BBC and have a still frame and this BBC announcer going, "You can watch the new series adamantly."
Yep, on Monday, something like that. Exactly what I was
Evening
thinking. Yeah,
at 8:00.
yeah. That would be the entire marketing campaign in those days, with possibly a small article in the Radio Times.
Yes, they wouldn't want to blow their own trumpet. No.
No. Mind you, if you only got 3
that'd be
channels,
vulgar.
it is probably rather easier to get your idea across.
Yeah.
And no internet.
Yeah.
Well, that was brilliant.
So that was Rogue. Yeah.
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 Well, it wasn't anymore. It was Adamant.
It's adamant.
That was adamant.
Explainment.
So was it better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Immensely.
Yeah, I think it was
Vastly
better.
so.
Yeah.
Great, man.
Yeah. Vastly more entertaining.
Yeah, happy with that. Well, happy. RTD needs to learn. Put a macro in things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Less kissing, more Macra.
Yeah, less kissing, more macro. Come on. Pony up
See-
with the Ras alien crabs.
See, it's difficult. It's a difficult thing, isn't it? Because I'm not massively taken with the Ncuti Gatwa era so far,
No.
and
so
yet,
far.
for someone of our age and persuasions to say that, it's hard to not come across like you're going, "Oh, I don't like it because he's gay," and that's not what we're saying at all. But
No.
I just don't like the style of it. I just don't.
No, I don't. I'm finding it dumber than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And I do feel a bit kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame to write out, this love affair, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like when we did the doc rank thing available on Patreon, folks, and we were all kind of going, "Oh, we hate to put Jodie Whittaker last, but we've kind of got to because
No, it's like
That's how we actually all feel, yeah.
yeah, and it's similar with this. I'd hate to actually do that doc rank thing now.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the Ncuti Doctor, isn't it? It's another version of David Tennant, isn't it?
There's another version
yes.
of David Tennant, and young, sexy doctors I find really conformist.
It's
Yeah.
really getting boring now. Yeah.
I mean, you can absolutely argue that Ncuti Gatwa is a non-conformist in Doctor Who terms casting because he's black and he's gay, and the character is open. So, but being young and sexy is very, very conformist.
Yeah.
And the Doctor isn't conformist, and that's, I think, I've been thinking about this a lot. I really think, and Whittaker as well. Like in Kablam, she's really behind the massive capitalist thing. I thought that's conformist. The Doctor brings it down.
Yeah.
That's what the Doctor does.
Yeah.
And so the Doctor's becoming less and less the character that I admire.
Yeah.
In that way, I suppose, and love. It's just going further and further away from my kind of Doctor. It's taste again. It's taste.
I think Matt Smith did it well because he kind of resisted it really because obviously he's young and he's a good-looking fella.
Yeah.
But he seems to have, from everything I've read, said from the start, no, I don't want to play it in a kind of David Tennant type way. I want to.
They showed him some trout, didn't they? And he went, "Ooh."
Yeah.
But also, you look at it's the Moffat era. Capaldi, I mean, obviously he was older, but he had the same kind of vastly less interest.
Yeah.
In that sort of thing. Then, God, I sound old in that sort of thing.
Sort of thing.
In fucking.
Down with that sort of thing.
Then I think Moffat himself is tasted to pull back a bit on that somewhat.
Yeah.
His taste is a little bit nearer to ours, I think. Yeah.
Certainly, I had River, but River's a very specifically designed companion. I can kind of believe that.
Yeah,
River's fascinating. River's enough. River. I can see the Doctor going for her.
Yeah.
That's the
Like
difference.
Romana. I could have believed the Doctor and Romana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, River is it's more of a match for the Doctor than Rogue is. You can see where
Yeah.
that's coming from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
River's earned his respect.
Yeah.
Rogue, he just meets, like you said earlier on, Baz, it just rocks up. I think we said it at the time after it had been first broadcast.
Yeah.
All of us said, well, he just walked in and
Immediately,
And I suppose the argument is that does happen in life. It's happened to me occasionally, but I'm not the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want the Doctor to be like me.
Yeah.
I don't want the Doctor to be human. Mutter, rant. I'll do some numbers. And the Doctor is number 12.
Ew.
Speak of the devil.
Indeed. In story, what the hell are we up to now?
312.
312.
It's going to change in a few weeks. No.
Yeah. 295.
295.
Oh, that's
very late.
way to go.
It's never as good as when we do new series Doctors and new series stories, though.
Well, let's see what it is, and then
yeah.
If somebody wants to grade, they can.
I might.
Okay, so it is Ascension of the Cybermen / the Timeless Children. That one.
Yeah, I'll grade it. I'll grade that.
All right, go on then.
Yeah.
75. That's much better.
I mean, we're going to have to do the Timeless Children at some point. But
not with
we've
Capaldi.
got years to go. Yeah.
He just not with Capaldi. If he was told he was the Time Lord, he'd just go, fuck off.
Yeah, you just tear the master to bits.
Okay, 75. Robot. We can't really do that because we've already had Capaldi's first story.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, all right. I'll do it again.
Otherwise, that would have been quite good, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless we do
11.
11.
11.
Fucking hell.
Dalek Invasion of Earth, Rescue.
The Rescue.
The Rescue. Yeah.
Fine.
Right. Okay.
Another nice short one. We're zipping through the two-part, isn't we?
We are.
That's them picking up Clara then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is Clara a splinter?
He's already met Clara. The 11 meets Clara.
Oh, yeah, he has met Clara, hasn't he? Yeah.
Go through Bill somehow.
Shit. Nardole.
Nardole.
Excellent. Nardole and his pet sand beast.
Yay.
Being menaced by Bennett will make Bennett a woman.
All right.
Excellent. Oh, there we go. We've practically got that one done. Sweet.
In the bag. All right. Okay. What are we doing the week after?
Okay, so that was Time Ram. I've been Paul Ferry, and I have been joined, as usual, by Barry Williams.
Bye-bye.
And Rupert Booth.
Good night.
Yes, we'd like to thank Ben Jones for our music. If you'd like to follow us online, you can find Rup at Rupert Booth on Twitter, aka X, and also Blue Sky. Baz is on Blue Sky too, and Tumblr, and I'm on Blue Sky, Tumblr, Threads, and Instagram. I'm such a social media whore. We also have a website at timeram.com and a page on Facebook under Time Ram Podcast. If you want to support the podcast, we have a Patreon page where you can send us a few shillings to buy us each a vibrating sporran. In return for which you'll get access to exclusive material. Or you can just leave
a Macra.
A Macra, yeah.
Only one of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, randomly selected. Or you can leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts from. The choice is yours. Join us next time for the 12th Doctor in The Rescue. Bye.
That sounds really professional.
Yeah, because I've got it written down because I was sick of fannying through it.
Direction Point! Direction Point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.